So, like I said, I ended the other video. I figured, you know what, let's just give it a shot. So let's jump into getting this vehicle staged. And in fact, I'm going to take myself out of frame. Come on, flip. There we go. I'm going to take myself out of frame and again make the star of the show about the work. So this is my second best attempt, and let's just see how this works. So we are working on a 2012 QX56. It's four-wheel drive with these massive 22-inch wheels on it. But we need to get the CV axles out. In fact, let's even start here because I think I'm actually going to wind up changing the name of the channel from J Rambo's Garage to How Did We Get Here? So, how did we get here? And especially while I'm at least able to hold myself together, because like I said, right now I'm not having a great personal go of it. But how did we get here? We got here. There we go. This is how we got here. I hate the one-handed thing, but it looks like live only lets you go portrait. So one hand. We got here because the shaft broke. The splined end of the shaft broke. How that happened, do not ask me. Okay? The only thing I did was back out of this driveway, make a left to go down to the stop sign to make another left, and that's when I heard a pop. So, needless to say that, as I just mentioned in the other live, you need to make sure that you're working on the right problem, okay? So the fact that this thing broke, well, we could say, oh, well, then that's the problem. Well, that's not really the problem, okay? That's the symptom. CV Axle, you can see, this is pretty hefty, right? More than likely this thing was forged or cast or however it was. CV axles don't generally just break that way, okay? At least I've never seen one break that way. And especially not doing any off-roading, you know, not anything to that degree. So why did it break? Well, was it uh, again, this thing is old. Did it develop some sort of fracture? Who knows? I'm not a doggone metallurgist or so forth and so on. But is that to say that that's the only thing that we should be looking at? Not necessarily. Replacing the CV axle, although that may solve the problem, who's to say you're not going to break the next one? Okay, maybe there is something wrong with your hub or some other thing. So all I'm getting at is you have to make sure that you're looking beyond what you think is okay. That's 100%. That has to be it. Not necessarily. Let's move on. So that's why we're here. Okay. And what I'm getting at is to this degree, I am not going to just replace the one. I'm going to do both of them. I want them to age together. Chances are this is the CV axle that this vehicle was born with. If this one's old, whether the other one's going to go in the manner that this did, doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is, it's pretty accordion-like. So the other one is doing the same thing, right? If you have the means, by all means, replace them at the same time, okay? Let me get my jack stands going, and I am going to make the attempt to get you guys as best as I can. All right, so again, for our complete novice, as we all are, unless you are a professional trained technician, for our complete novice, I'm going to lift this vehicle up from the differential. Now, since I am talking to our novice, if you don't know what a differential is, well, that's the differential, okay? And it has enough heft and it's bolted into the frame that it will support the vehicle, the rear end, and you'll see as we lift from the diff, both wheels are coming off the ground. We're going to address both wheels because you don't really want both wheels off the ground for certain parts of this repair. Just to, I don't want to say give filler, but I did track the package. It was due to deliver about 2 hours ago. That has changed. It's showing at the end of the day. So I'm kind of doing this, I don't want to say a little bit prematurely, but as it stands, I can really only use this vehicle for very, very, very short distant trips, which essentially is I can't use this vehicle at all. So now I have already staged a few blocks so that I can get my jack stands and I don't have to lift them very high. I think that's going to be good enough. I usually count how many teeth are exposed just to level it out, make sure it's even on both sides. 1, 2, 3. One, two, three. That looks a little bit higher than the other side, but I think I'm still going to be good. That when I drop this down, both wheels will still be off the ground. So here, I'll put you guys right there. Ready? That worked out. Now, because this vehicle is relatively high, even if it dropped, and again, I'm talking safety now, and I know it's a little bit borderline morbidish, but even if the vehicle dropped, I can get under this vehicle just on its own at its normal height with it not being jacked. But I'm going to work on the passenger side, so I'll put my jack stand on the passenger side on the frame as a secondary brace, right? Let's move that over a little bit. Here we go. Okay. You guys go back now. I'll continue to talk, and hopefully what I'm saying makes sense. Depending on the equipment depending on the tools you have at your disposal, depending on the tools you have at your disposal, you want the wheels off the ground for removing, okay? Because, here, let me take you guys. Because here's your CV axle, okay? You can see that it's bolted on to the differential? Well, you can only get so many, right? You can only get a tool. So when I think these things are bolted down to about 85 foot-pounds of torque. So you want the wheels off the ground to spin this so that you can get to each nut easier. You don't want the wheels on the ground when it comes to torquing the axle nut. That's your axle nut. That's your axle nut. You need this on the ground so that the wheels aren't spinning and you can actually get torque. Now these things are torqued to, I think, like 170 foot-pounds. So essentially, let's put it this way. If you need to do this job, I'm just going to go ahead and flat out say it. If anybody disagrees, then fine. Just going to flat out say it. In order to do this job, you're going to need an impact gun, all right? Which is pretty much the only reason I have the one that I have. It's the main reason. It's the main reason I bought this thing, all right? For when I did the wheel hubs last year, I couldn't get the doggone the CV axle hubs off because I just didn't have the right tool. I think I broke 3 breaker bars. So I will grab my lock. I think this is the right one. It is. Let's turn up the torque on this thing. I usually wear, sturdy shoes, but for this, I just put my foot under and then take it out. Yeah, just making little notes as I think of them. I'm obviously working in the garage, all right? If this is kind of work that you need to do, make sure that your vehicle is in the garage. For whatever reason, you may need to stop your job and you need to close your garage. You want to make sure that you can secure your home, right? So make sure your vehicle is staged in the garage so that for whatever reason, if you need to walk away from it, you can still secure your home, all right? Now, where are my needle nose? Whoever is watching, I appreciate it. I know I'm physically by myself, even though today, like I said, it's been a crappy week so far. It's probably going to take a little bit of time for me to get over. Don't like that. Sorry. But I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate you letting me use you as some therapy. Bring this cotter pin out. Come on out. Let's grab the hammer. If anyone sees my hammer, can you point it out to me, please? Appreciate it. is one of those things I'm working on staying organized, even when I've sort of cleaned the garage. It's still never good enough. I'm always hiding stuff from myself, so I can't find it. Let's see if I get some success with it. It's coming. Powder pin is out. And make sure you guys can still see the job. Yes, you're still in the frame. So I am looking for my impact sockets. Alrighty. See the axle note out, and yeah, this one's ready to go too. Again, I think it's just stuck in there enough to engage the splines, but this one's ready to go too. As far as it you can say it shouldn't be in there. It should be centered. You should actually be able to see the splines on the CV shaft itself. So that's just stuck in there just enough to engage a couple of splines or a few splines, and able to turn the wheel. But it was due to destroy this wheel hub too. And who knows, transportation may be bringing the new stuff. But we will continue on. You guys stay where you are for a moment. Oh, perfect. Yep. The new axles are delivering as we speak. I would turn just for content, but again, I don't want to go and get anyone in trouble. So it's transportation with the colorful letters, not the 3 letters. All right. Okay, so let me see if I can get you guys set so you can at least see. I think that's good enough. You'll get the gist of what I'm doing here. All right. So the bolts that retain the rear of the axle, let's just say where the axle and the differential mate, that's a 17. So bear with me here. I'm going to grab these parts real quick. What's up, sir? I got 2 boxes. So you don't have to get down, save your
Just snap a quick.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, good day.
Okay. Alrighty. So before we do that, let's employ the practice that we just spoke about, right? Now these are replacement parts based on an experience. We made every effort to identify and confirm. So before we get too far into this job, let's see what we have. Come on. I don't like the one-handed stuff. Especially when you're trying to talk with a razor blade in your mouth. Okay. All right. Come on. Get it. Okay. Let's bring this one over here. Not good. Don't like working one-handed. So you all go here. Sorry about the hand. Okay. That's one. Bear with me. Grab the other one. Although I'm a bit concerned because this box is considerably longer, but maybe it's just stuffed with styrofoam or packing material. This box is way too long. Drum roll. Yay. Don't like that it particularly came just in the box itself, right? So that's not necessarily waning in confidence, but they both look good. All right. Now, let's grab the broken one. Okay, and I will pick you all back up. Sorry for the hand. And we can at least make a comparison. Why do I have the broken one? Well, because I had to put, this came off the driver's side, all right? The passenger side was still good. Once the initial replacement came in, basically I had to leave that one. I put the old good one that was in so that I could at least make a run, but then I tried to make a run and it wasn't happy at all, so I had to just basically sit the vehicle. But actually, we can do two things. Okay? Because fortunate for me, they did not request that I send what I initially purchased back. But you can see there's a considerable difference. One in height. This is longer, okay? The spline portion of the shaft is longer, okay? That's the original, which matches up here. I forget what this portion is called, but this is, I would say, considerably more beefier than the original. Um, let's call it the drum. I'm sure that's not the correct term, but that seems to be far more beefier than the original. So again, just as I was I was very pleased with these. I'm equally as pleased with the new ones, and I think these are actually the application I need for the repair. So as far as I'm concerned, we've got the correct CV axles. All right, let's continue on. Or let us continue. And what are we so far? with the process of recording, we're 25 minutes in. Now, imagine you are actually out in the field. Let's just say you are off-roading. Think it's a QX56. Oh, that's a luxury vehicle. You're never off-roading that thing. Well, the thing is based on the Patrol, the Nissan Patrol. Nissan Patrol is, I don't know, more than 15, 20 years old, body on frame. Of course, we don't get the Patrol here in the States, but a very capable vehicle, direct competitor with the Land Cruiser at the time. Um, you put the right wheels and tires on this thing, it can compete with the best of them. Point being, if you were out, say in the field, and had a broken CV axle, well, first of all, based on my experience, you throw this thing in 4 high, you're still getting home. Absolutely. But if you find yourself needing to make a repair, well, that's cool too, because it's not that difficult. So I'm not in the best position. Let me make sure I'm going in. Okay. That's one. Oh. Spin. See, this is where you want the tires off the ground. That's two. That's three. Let me make sure you guys are. I'm probably sure my big head might be in the way. I apologize. That's four. That's five. And last one. Now, this will just drop. All right, I'm going to leave this here for a second so that I can pick you all up. Okay, that drops. Now you've got all the room in the world to just work the shaft or the spline portion. Let's just call it the front end of the CV axle. Just work that up through here, and it comes right out. So let me see if I can. Oh no, did I cut you all off? No, I didn't. Perfect. Perfect. Again, excuse the hand. We are live, baby. Raw and uncut. So this will just come out. All right. That's out. Grab a new one. There is absolutely no reason that these should be side specific, i.e. a driver or passenger, okay? Throw in the splined side first. Work that through. Okay. Work the rear end up. Get one bolt started. Come on. There we go. We got one bolt started. Let me bring you over. Oh, good Lord. Sorry for the hand. Where'd you go? Okay. All right. We've got one bolt started. Okay. Let's go around to the front. Let's bring that all the way through. Now, you can see how that is nicely centered. The splines, I'm not sure if you can actually see them, but the splines are closer to the edge of the hub. They're nice and taut. You see I can actually spin this. There's no jumping around. I think we are good to go. For now, I am just going to put on the new one. Uh-oh. the new axle nut. Okay, I'm not going to run it all the way down yet. Just to secure it, I will finish these up by hand, by finger. Again, let me make sure that I've got you all. That's not good. I need a videographer, please. Please and thank you. Alrighty, I think that's good enough. Okay. That's 2. That's 3. I can squeeze, of course. Any day here. Oh, you know what? It looks like you can go landscape. Or can you? Nope. Sorry. Hopefully you guys are still with me. Looks like time is still running, so I'm going to say you are. We can spin this wheel now, exposing the remainder of our bolt holes. Now again, imagine me just doing this job, okay? No talking, no video. It probably would take longer, again, if you have the right tool, right? It would probably take me longer to get this car up on the blocks or the jack stands than it actually took me to get this damn CV axle in and out, right? Or I might be exaggerating a little bit, but you get the gist of it. So, short of me torquing these things down, again, I think these are 85. Look up, make sure you don't just go trusting people that make videos, right? I'm not an expert, but to the best of my knowledge, I think these are 85, and the whew, the axle nut itself is like 170 foot-pounds. To which, this is when you need the other wheel now on the ground so that it doesn't spin, or you at least mock these up, right? You get them snug with your ratchet or however you tighten these, okay? You come in, you knock your center cap out of your wheel, put the wheel back on, put the vehicle down on the ground, and then you torque that way. Otherwise, you need an impact gun. Impact gun still, I mean, we could just go and go and go and go. That thing is rated at, I think, 400 foot-pounds, but there's no meter on it, okay? So I never know. Or you'll never know, rather. So even using the impact gun to try to torque to a specific spec, it's not the way to go about it. Got a torque? Huh, thought I had a larger one. I have my torque wrench. This one's 150, okay? It's rated at 150. Then I'll have to figure out the 20, all right? So, for the sake of the actual work, that's pretty much it, okay? So again, imagine if you were out in the field, for instance, actually doing some off-roading, and you busted a CV axle, and let's just say, you packed correctly, you had some spare parts. Well, dropping in another CV axle is pretty doggone simple. Other than that, I think I am going to let you all go. Okay. I am going to get these bolts torqued, get the other side done, which is pretty much the exact same thing. Well, it's not pretty much, it's the exact same thing on the other side. I'd already replaced the wheel hub on the passenger side. So when the new hubs come in, I'll deal with those at some other time. It is really not that difficult either. The caliper comes off, the rotor comes off. It's best to just go ahead and not, since you see how easy it is for it to come out, just go ahead and remove the CV axle, okay? So that you absolutely have nothing, you have absolutely nothing impeding you getting to 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, okay? Those come out. Hopefully your hub isn't seized in there from rust, but in theory, okay, let's just say the hub should fairly easily knock out. Replace it with the new. And there's what I mean by the hub. This is the hub, okay? Like I said, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, you can see, like I said, the initial new destroyed this one. However, actually, that's one thing I do want to discuss. Not necessarily discuss, but at least throw out there. So, in theory, okay, I believe this CV axle is actually still good, okay? I think the splines are still good for the application that it was intended for. So there's this one, okay? And then just so you can see, oh, this is the other one. Correct. Okay. So these are the initial, is it? Certainly looks like it. That one looks a little bit longer. But in any respect, these are the initial CV axles that I purchased. All right. These are good for the first generation QX56 2000, 2004, and I think the 2004 through 2010. Okay. And then that same body style that the QX56 was based on, the first gen, is also the Armada, the first generation Armada. The first generation Armada, I think, ran from 2004 to about 2016, I believe, before they went to the body. So the QX56 actually changed body styles before the Armada did, and it adopted this body. Okay. My point, I have two CV axles, one that just fell. If you have a 2004, or let's just call it this way, if you have a first generation, I'm going to spin myself around here. If you have a first generation QX56, okay, QX56 or a Nissan Armada, and you are in need of CV axles, I cannot pick up the shipping cost. I am in Greater Atlanta, Georgia. If you are local, I am happy to converse with you. Send me a comment and we'll see how the conversation goes. If you are out of state, again, send me a conversation. We'll see how that goes. But you have to pay for the shipping, all right? I'll figure out how to get these things packaged up. I think I still have, no, I absolutely. I have all of the original packing material. So I am willing to give these things away, okay? This has nothing to do with, like, share, subscribe, so forth and so on. The company was more than generous to make me whole, and so why not pass it along? If you are in need of CV axles for your first generation QX56 or Nissan Armada, send a comment, and let's see how this goes. All right. Other than that, I'm going to finish buttoning my vehicle up so that so that I can get some stuff done. Again, before my demeanor turns for the worse again. So, appreciate you joining me for the second attempt at a live. I hope it went well. Again, if this helps you, um, well, just before we go, the let me flip. No, don't get closer. Not my ugly mug. The QX56 from 2011. Honestly, I'm going out on a limb, but I'm just going to stop. Let's just say 2022. Okay, this this platform has not changed and barely changed over what are we looking at, the last 15 10 13 years ish or so. This first, or from this body change, it went from the QX56 to the QX80, I want to say in either mid 2013, or let's just call it 2014, okay, where it just essentially got the facelift. All right, it started with kind of that more aggressive lighting. I don't want to call it a package, but it just went to a little bit more aggressive front end. Other than that, vehicle stayed the same from 2014 to, like I said, I'm going out on a limb. I can say this: the engine that's in the 2025 is the same exact engine that's in this car. All right. Now, as far as the suspension parts and whatnot, let's just say we'll we'll have to see how it goes. But my point is, the job that we just did should at least be good from 2011 through 22. Again, this platform is very old. It's based on the Nissan Patrol, and it has not changed much. So let's just say 2011 through 2022, you should be doing the exact same thing if you need to replace your CV axles. If you need first generation CV axles, let's see what we can work out. There's no need to like, subscribe, share, so forth and so on. You do that if you want to do it. I'm not looking for it, but let's just, like I said, let's see how it works out. Appreciate you joining me for the second live, and we'll be excuse me, I'm getting out of breath. I am going out of breath. I'll see you guys on the next one.